Perimenopausal or menopausal female, well, here are the key nutrients you must balance in your diet in order to experience a smoother journey through your peri and menopause. Let's get started. Hey, Julia and Paul Talbot here, certified holistic nutritionist with over 10 years of experience helping you create healthy hormones, healthy body, and the life of your dreams naturally. If you're brand new here, hit subscribe to stay up to date with our videos to help you create the life that you want to live. Now, we've worked with hundreds of clients over the years, and I'm a 40 plus female myself, so perimenopause and menopause is something that you need to start preparing for, or if you're already going through it, you definitely want to make sure that you are optimizing your nutrition and your nutrients in order to support your body through this big hormonal change that it is going to be going through. So in today's video, we're going to dive into some of the key nutrients you need to balance so that you are not experiencing inflammation, you are not damaging your bones, and you are rebuilding your health and your energy levels and your hormones and your adrenal glands and so forth. And stick with us to the end, because the fourth one is a must for every, not only perimenopausal and menopausal female, but pretty much everyone.
Everybody, yeah. So perimenopause, menopause, and fat intake. Let's talk about it. So as we get older, and as we are adults as well as in our adult life, in our adult years, we need to eat a certain amount of fat, but we don't want to overeat on fat, which is very important for many different reasons. Now, the balance of fat that you get in your diet of omega-6 to 3 is really important. And there are healthy ratios of 6 to 3, which we need to really keep within. So we're talking about 4 to 1 down to 1 to 1 of omega-6 to 3. Now, omega-6 in too big quantities can cause inflammation in the body. So this is why we don't want to overeat on it. And this is what unfortunately happens in many different diets that have lots of fat in them.
Yeah, so in terms of overeating on omega-6, you don't want to be eating a lot of oils in your diet. You definitely want to move to plant fats and also the right plants, the right plant fats as well. Yeah. So you don't want to be eating processed fats and heated fats and again oils that I've mentioned, because they're processed foods. Yeah, so oils are processed foods. So move into plant
whole plant foods, absolutely.
Plant fats. And even then, you still need to balance your ratio of omega-6 to 3, because even then you can still have too much of omega-6, which is inflammatory. And you need to have the right balance of omega-3, and omega-3 is anti-inflammatory.
Exactly. So as you're going through the perimenopause and menopause, you need to make sure that you're getting the right fats in your diet and the right amounts. And one of these in particular is the omega-3 fats. So omega-3 are really important because they're anti-inflammatory, they boost your brain health, so they're really important for your health and for other reasons as well. So what you need to do is to make sure you get enough in your diet. And how much is enough in your diet? Well, we're talking about, 15, 20 grams of, say, flax seeds, for example, or ground chia seeds, ground flax seeds or chia seeds, because they've got to be grounds because that's allowing you to then get the nutrients out of those seeds as the omega-3. Because if you don't grind them, then you're not going to get the benefit from them.
So in other words, really 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of ground chia or flax seeds in your diet. So
absolutely. Adding
it to your salads or your smoothies or your soups and so forth. And also, if you desire, you can supplement with some EPA and DHA, vegan EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids.
So get yourself an omega-3 index test. Test your omega-3 levels, see if they're okay. If you're doing well enough on eating ground flax seeds or chia seeds, keep on going. If you need a supplement, then get an omega-3 supplement. Easy.
And another thing as well, omega-3 and omegas are not only in just fatty foods, but that's a concentrated form of omega-3. And you will get omega-3 from fruits and vegetables as well. But you need to make sure that you're eating enough of it in order to receive sufficient amounts. And again, stick with us because the last one is the most important one. So the second one?
Second one is vitamin D. We all need enough vitamin D. Ideally, we need to get it from the sunshine, but if we can't get it from the sunshine all year round, then we've got to get it from supplements. That's the second best option. Then it comes to, the benefits of vitamin D. Why do we need to get enough vitamin D? Well, we need it for our immune systems, for them to work properly. Vitamin D helps control the immune system and keep it at an optimal level. If you don't have enough vitamin D for your immune system, then things can go out of balance. We also need it for things like our brain health and our mood, and it's
hormones.
Yeah, hormones,
exactly. Vitamin D is a hormone, and it's important.
It can help with different types of cancer, protect you from different types of cancer, and so many other things in your body as well. So vitamin D is hugely important. So as you reach the perimenopause and menopausal stage of your life, you want to keep your vitamin D levels up. So get enough sunshine, or if you have to during the fall or the winter months, then take some vitamin D. Now, in terms of how much vitamin D do I need? Well, we recommend a level of about 50 nanograms and up within the healthy range per milliliter.
50 to 80.
Yeah,
you want to be in that range.
That's a good range, and you'll find that a lot of levels of ranges of vitamin D, they just go too low, and it's just not enough. And science has shown us now that you need to have more. So this is the sort of range that we're looking for, 50 and up, basically.
And another important thing about vitamin D and nutrients is that you need healthy levels of nutrients in order for your body to function optimally. For example, your thyroid. So in order to optimize the health of your thyroid and make sure that your thyroid is working properly, again, you need to have sufficient amount of vitamin D in your body, not just vitamin D and other nutrients as well. But since we're talking about vitamin D, just make sure that you're not ignoring it, that you are testing yourself, and if needed, you are supplementing with vitamin D. Perimenopause, menopause, how much protein do you need? Well, that is a great question, and there's a big myth out there, especially in the plant foods niche, that you don't even need to think about protein, you don't even need to pay attention to it. Well, you do need to have enough protein in your diet, because it's important not just for your healthy bodily functions, it's also important for your bones, and it is also important for many other processes that are happening in your body.
Muscle building and things like that, keeping your muscle.
Yes, absolutely. So you don't need to have tons of protein, but yet you don't want to be too low in protein. So what is a healthy amount of protein?
Well, the World Health Organization is talking about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, of lean body weight of protein and up from there. So that's more than, easy enough to get on a plant foods diet, but you do need to focus on it. I mean, if you're just eating fruits and vegetables, or just fruits, or mainly fruits, which we don't recommend anyway, then you're going to get a very low level of protein in your diet. So you do need to be aware of this. And obviously, as you reach in the perimenopause and menopause, you're getting older, you want to make sure your bone health is good. You want to keep it up there. So you want to make sure that you get enough protein. So as I said, 0.8 grams per kilogram of lean body weight is where you need to be, or more.
Yeah, and in terms of sources, healthy sources of protein, fruits and vegetables are great, but you will also need to focus on eating enough of them. So green leafy vegetables, and then if you want to add something like hemp protein powder to your smoothies, for example, I do personally 30 to 40 grams of hemp protein in my smoothies. And of course, grains and legumes are also a very good source of protein. So for as long as you are paying attention to the meals that you're eating and it's all planned well, when we work with our clients, we help them ensure that they get enough, not just protein, but they also get enough other nutrients to build their health and to maintain their health long term. So just pay attention to it and work out how much protein you need.
So it's really important, because as you get older, or people tend to lose their muscle mass. So we really want to keep that muscle, and if we can, even increase it a bit. So we need to have muscle, and one of those key areas is the protein.
Yes. Perimenopause and menopause, how much calcium do you need to eat in your diet to make sure that you are avoiding bone diseases in the future?
Yes, so we're talking about bone disease, we mean osteoporosis, where your bones supposedly weaken as you get older, and this has been a big bone of contention, no pun intended, for the science community for a long time. This concern that as people get older, their bones start to weaken, and then you get fractures, they fall over, and it doesn't paint a nice picture. So we want to prevent this, of course. As we get older, we want to have strong bones, we don't want to be falling over. So calcium, yes, calcium is needed for your bones for sure. And obviously there is this, a lot of advertising out there, you've got to get lots of calcium in, dairy and all this kind of thing. Well, obviously we don't want dairy, because dairy is not healthy for you. So where do you get calcium from? How do you get enough? Where do you get it from? The plant food. So fruits, vegetables, all these different kinds of things, nuts and seeds. And we also need to make sure we get enough.
Yes. But there is a but here, yes?
Yes,
so
there is a but here.
Yeah, you must get enough calcium.
You must get enough, and from the right sources. So first off, you don't want to get calcium from supplements. Why do you want to get calcium from supplements? Well, first off, there's too much. So you're going to get a big dose of calcium when you take a supplement, typically. And that's not good for your body. Having that big spike of calcium get absorbed into your bloodstream.
Not only that, science shows what? if you get too much calcium from supplements,
Well,
you can experience heart attacks and strokes.
Heart attacks, so heart disease, we're talking about heart disease. Yes, that calcium can end up lining your arteries, which is not what we want. We want that calcium in our bones and in our teeth where it needs to go. So we need to get the calcium from the whole foods that we're eating. So you'll get it in the right amounts. And then your body's really clever, because what it does, it absorbs and takes up the calcium it needs. And if there's too much, it doesn't. It just lets it out of the body. It excretes it. So it's really clever.
That's when you do it from plants, not
Yes.
supplements.
Yes, exactly.
So supplements are a no. Food, base sources of calcium, yes.
Yes. So notice calcium supplements, definitely not calcium supplements. You need to get it from your foods. And when you do that, that's when things work properly. So how much calcium do you need to take every day to remain healthy and to stop things like osteoporosis? Well, looking at the studies here, it's showing us that we need to be getting around 500 milligrams or more every day on average of calcium. So it's really important. And you will see varying ranges in different countries. Some say you've got to get 1200 milligrams every day. Other places 700. And so around 500 and up within that range is going to be where you need to be.
That's what's been studied, and that's what's been proven.
These are what studies are showing, and we need to get that from lower oxalate foods as well, which is a whole other area. But make sure you're eating lower oxalate foods, and that's really going to help you with your calcium intake.
A lot of spinach, not so good. Yeah,
no,
so high
a lot
oxalate,
of chard, not so good.
A lot of chard, beets. That's foods high in oxalates.
So we need to be eating lots of different greens, so things like lettuces, different types of lettuces, bok choy, kale, these kinds of things. They're going to give you broccoli. They're going to give you lots of minerals and vitamins, and they're not high in oxalates. That's really, really good thing.
And also nuts, seeds, legumes, and fruits and vegetables. Orange juice is great for calcium, for example. So yeah, making sure that you're eating enough, and paying attention to the amount of calcium that you're consuming to make sure that you are achieving the right amount. And again, with plant foods, you can't overdose on it. Yeah, so you cannot overeat on calcium. With supplements, you can avoid supplementation. There are a lot of gurus and alternative community who will say you need to supplement with calcium, you need to take it with this and that. Well, that is not true, because we know from scientific studies that calcium supplementation leads to problems. So calcium supplementation can result in heart attacks. So no to calcium supplements. You need to get your calcium from food. Okay, so if you are looking to balance your hormones and make sure that you are optimizing your plan to go through smooth perimenopause or smoother perimenopause and menopause, then join us for a free online masterclass where we will show the 5 steps to keeping your hormones healthy, rebalancing the issues you might already have, like your hormonal imbalances, gut health issues, adrenal fatigue, weight loss, and achieving the body that you want to live in. So in order to register, click on the link that you are seeing on the screen or in the description section, and be sure to grab your spot on our free masterclass.
So we're going to link this video to another video where we show you how to lose weight with hormonal imbalances.
See you there.